Hello everyone, welcome to the Icehouse podcast. It's awesome to have you with us today. Today I am interviewing Chris Watson. He is the business manager of TIS and he has been doing some coaching with Jamie over in Bay of Plenty and in that area, which is awesome. But I just thought I'd give a bit of a background and then we'd get straight into the interview. But TIS was actually previously owned by Maxine Wood, who's an owner-manager program alumni here at the Icehouse. And when COVID hit, it was in the middle of being sold to Chris, who we're talking to today, which is really cool. They have recently expanded, opening a new branch in Taupo. And I think it's definitely worth noting that at the Taranaki Business Awards, which have just taken place in November, they won many awards in the Health and Safety, Service Excellence, Large Business Awards, and then took out the overall Supreme Business Award for 2020. So that is massive. So congratulations, Chris, and thanks so much for being on the podcast today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So first question is, what services do TIS provide?
So we are a industrial instrumentation, electrical and control system solutions specializing in hazardous areas.
Wow.
So we're predominantly in the oil and gas industry here in Taranaki.
Yeah.
Service that area. So we don't tend to deal with residential or commercial electrical.
Mm-hmm.
It's purely in that high specialized hazardous area. We also do relief valve and control valve maintenance and some lab services doing calibrations for temperature, pressure, control, water, flow, and all of those are done to an INS standard.
Wow, some big jobs there. That's cool, quite specialised in some areas. That's great.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, you took over the ownership in the middle of COVID. That is a massive leap of faith, to say the least, just not knowing what the future looked like. How did you get to that point? What was the journey of, taking that over and explain the process, explain how it came about and where it's at now.
So Tom and I took a 15% share probably just about 18 months ago. So we initially had a small interest, if you like, within the company.
Mm-hmm.
Then the transition was going to take place over the next couple of years, but certain things happened and funding was made available, etc., etc. So we were able to take control. The aim was for 1st of April and the official takeover was 1st of April.
1st of April.
So leading up to that point, 1st of April, as you know, is right in the middle of the, the very first week of the first lockdown.
Yeah, wow.
So there's really no better time to buy a business in the middle of a pandemic and total lockdown. So the first...
Never waste a good pandemic, they say.
Yeah,
so
right.
You did that well, yeah.
So the first 5 weeks of income was not very good.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Look, we knew what we had. So as much as it was, we were being cautious, if you like, we thought about it. We knew that the company was solid. We knew our team was solid, and we knew that coming out the other side of the lockdown, we were going to be busy, and everything was just paused. It wasn't stopped. So for us, it wasn't really a huge risk. It was just a matter of managing that period of time. At the time, of course, we didn't know how long it was going to be. But
yeah, of course, yeah.
Luckily, it was for us. It was only about 7 weeks when we initially we were going to be. Well, we were part of the. What do you call those? What's the word for it? Sorry, my mind escapes me, but we were going to be essential services. That's the word.
Essential services.
So we were going to be essential services, and then the clients quite rightly decided to just deal with core staff only because they wanted to reduce the risk because they're providing the whole of the country's energy. So, that couldn't stop. So, yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's cool. And I'm sure it's nice to be over the other side. We're in a very incredible place here in New Zealand in terms of we know what's happened, but we sort of are in a really good place compared to the rest of the world. So I'm sure you're enjoying the space you're in now, being back to business.
Oh, for sure. And I realise there's a lot of companies out there that are doing it tough. And we all have initially, but some of us have got through it a lot easier than others, and we're very mindful of that, and glad of that, of course. But at the same time, the staff have been excellent. We've not lost anybody. We've managed to even recruit since then, and take on some people that have lost their jobs. So it's been a win-win. So yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. That's really, really cool. Okay, cool. So around the Icehouse, obviously there's a bit of a connection there with that previous owner going through an owner-manager program. But when did you first hear of the Icehouse, and how long have you been involved with Jamie?
So I got, during the first lockdown, Maxine was offered, because she was part of, as you say, the owner management program. She was offered the 10 sessions with the Icehouse to help businesses get through that lockdown and work a plan through that. And because Maxine was exiting the business, she got me involved sort of 2 or 3 sessions into that 10 session program.
Right.
And so I came in then, and initially there was the 3 of us, Jamie, Maxine and myself, and then Maxine sort of left everything over to me, and there was that transition so that Jamie and I carried on working through it, working together. Right. So we got through that, and then during those conversations, we were already within our strategy program. It was already, the Taupo area was already talked about. So Jamie mentioned that his speciality was looking and expanding into geographical areas. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this, and we'll carry on post lockdown working with Jamie, which we've done.
Awesome.
And we've got to a point that we finished that program, if you like, and then because we've just taken the keys to a building in Taupo, so that's now going ahead.
Great.
But then Jamie says, "What do you want to do next?" And as I said to him, I just want to carry on even for a monthly catch up in the next year, really, because it's just good to have that someone to have like a sounding board to bounce off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great, awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. He works with some great companies and really diverse, and has a great skill set, which is cool.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, awesome. So COVID has, we're using this word pivot a lot, and I'm trying to move away from it. But COVID has, has it forced your company to diversify in any way, to change, to pivot?
Well, the COVID didn't. No.
Yeah.
It was a 7-week pause, if you like, to our business, but it didn't cause us, and it hasn't affected the way we do business in any way. But the situation and the future of oil and gas, of course, has meant to mean we need to diversify. Mm-hmm. So that's why we looked at pivoting, diversification, and all those other good things. So we know that there's a finite life within oil and gas, and if we don't do that, then TIS won't be around in the future. So
was the plan always to expand, or did that fast track after your learnings from the pause, or learning about the industry through what happened through COVID?
The plan was always to expand.
Cool.
And as well as move into other areas, that because the valve side of the business is relatively new as well, but it complements what we do. Mm-hmm. And so we just want to do things that complement our core business without trying to go way out there and into something completely new, because we still want to use the team that we've got and use their skill set that can move from one area to another. And geothermal, where we're moving to in Taupo and trying to break into that market, it fits perfectly with what we do within the oil and gas. So
Great, awesome. So when considering expanding, obviously it was in the plan, as we've talked about already, which is cool. What's been your go-to-market approach? Has there been a strategy there at all?
So there has, working with Jamie, we had a couple of plans, whether it was to merge with somebody, take over a company, go into partnership, and all of those things we talked about, we looked at, had conversations. But what's happened and filtered down from that is that we have decided to open up and start off small and grow organically, if you like, for want of a better word. It's what we done here, and we done well. Our reputation here is good, but we're not so well known in Taupo yet.
Yeah, yet. Keyword yet. Awesome. Watch this space. Cool. Okay, nice. So start small and sort of scale up really naturally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Love it. That's great. So with that, obviously scaling up, even when you do start small, comes having to hire new staff. And I've seen some notes around how you guys have a really great culture in terms of your people in the company, which is really cool. What's been the process, what's been the process of finding new people in quite a specialised field with this growth?
Been tough. I'm not going to lie. We thought we'd had a couple of people lined up already, and then this was prior to lockdown or just after, and because of the whole COVID thing, they've sort of got a bit cold feet and decided to stay where they are, and you can't blame them for that. They've got a bit of security in their current roles, and Tess coming is an unknown in that area. Recruiting in New Plymouth is easy. We're a known quantity. Our reputation precedes, some people come knocking on our door.
Yeah, wow.
But in Taupo they don't, which is a shame. But saying that, we've this latest advertisement we've got a few good CVs come through. Awesome. So we're quietly confident that we'll find somebody.
Yeah, great. Have you guys ever, are you a type of company that sort of recruits people from overseas, or is it normally, people locally come knocking on your door? Have you been affected by that in any way, or not really?
Both. Yeah, we have. So one area of the business, the valve side, is quite specialised in it, and there's very few people around. So we do have somebody overseas that we are looking at, and we just can't get them into the country at the moment, so we'll have to wait on that one. But that's okay. That's as I said to you before, we're starting slow and small. Yeah. We're not just going to rush in and expect everything. So we've still got to win over the clients yet and win some work from them. So it's not like we're going to get everything straight away. We can wait, and we're prepared to wait and make that investment not try and run before we can walk. Yeah,
great. I love that. That's awesome. Cool. So like I said, you have recently been awarded many awards, not just one, quite a few, which is really cool. So health and safety, which I'm sure would be very important in what you guys are doing, service excellence, large business award, and then took out the overall Supreme Business Award for 2020. Congratulations. That's really amazing. How did that feel? Was that cool?
Well, it was. So we entered 4 categories. 3 of those you've just mentioned that we won, and then the innovation, which we didn't win, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We first entered the awards in 2016.
Oh, wow.
When I first started with Tess, and we just sort of put ourselves out there and just to see where we sat. Got some benchmarks. And we got some commended and highly commended, but we didn't come away with a biggie.
Yeah.
But what we did find during that process was the feedback from the judging was really good. And awesome. And I understand from talking to the Chamber of Commerce, the Taranaki one is very unique in the way it does its business awards, in which case the judging panels come out and judge you, as opposed to it's not just a written submission. So they come to really understand your business.
Do they come on site? They come to your site?
Or we go to them, depending on the award or the category. They come to us, or we go to them. Yeah. And it's like a Dragon's Den type situation, with the 3 of them sitting there grilling you on your business. And so we got the feedback back in 2016, and we implemented most of those probably recommendations. And I guess from that, the result of those previous 4 years hard work proved that when you listen, bearing in mind back then we were probably 15 people working for us, and now we're up to a team of nearly 40 as well. So wow. we moved from medium to large business during that 4 years, and growth has been happening all that time. So
awesome. Great.
Yeah,
Yes,
and then to
great
win the
moment.
Supreme was just awesome, because especially being a trades and a niche market that we're in,
Mm.
some of those other companies out there do some amazing things, and you would expect some of those to pick it up, but no, we did. Great.
Yeah, cool. Congrats. It's such a great achievement, and
Yeah.
yeah, awesome achievement to do in your first year of owning the company as well.
Yes. Yeah.
How long have you been involved in the company?
So since 2016, I've
Yeah,
been
cool.
involved with this. Yep.
Great. Awesome. That's cool. I thought I might add here as well that, I've heard that you support your local community by donating to low decile schools nearby. Why is giving back to the community important to you and to the company?
We decided as a new ownership team, we sat down. One of the first things we sat down was and talked about what we're going to help in the local community.
Great.
And we spoke about those big ones, which is the helicopter and the up at the hospice and all of those big ones that seem to get all the funding and all of the recognition. But we decided that we wanted to help some people that struggle to get funding, but
Yeah.
but at the same time would have a great impact. And this school in particular, both my wife and Tom, the other owner's wife, works at, and so that's how it became known to us, really, because it was not known. And these little kids, they're all primary, and they don't have a computer at the school. The whole school, there are 5 classrooms, and there's no computers.
Wow.
And so we decided that we would fund a classroom, so that 20 odd computers, and set that up so that they can move it from class to class. So at least one day a week, every class will have a go on that computer.
Awesome. Yeah.
Most of these kids probably won't see one growing up either. If they don't get to experience it now, they probably won't have one at home, because of the area that the school's in.
Yeah.
So really, it's just about making a difference for these kids' lives and giving them a head start, really, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Good on you guys. I just think that's really cool that companies, also look out to their community and go, what can we do to support? And in this sense, help a generation, which is really, really cool. So
yeah,
good on
exactly.
you. Good on you guys. Oh.
Thanks.
I'm quite passionate about, businesses giving back and choosing things that are close to them. And so it's cool to hear the connection as well, with both of your wives being involved in the school and that sort of thing, and being in the local region. So good on you guys. I think that's great. Last couple of questions. I'm really enjoying talking to you, actually. It's very insightful. What does the future of TIS look like?
At the moment, the future looks great, and I'm sure that won't change. So, as we've mentioned, we're diversifying geographically, but also we're getting involved with hydrogen at the very early stages. So, Taranaki went through a transition 2050 after the government decided that there'll be no more future exploration permits issued for oil and gas. So we went on that journey and those forums and discovered that it looks like hydrogen is going to be the future, and it's clean, green, and all of those things. So we've purchased an electrolyzer, the first one in Australasia, and we're developing a prototype right now.
Wow.
The students downstairs building it. So we've got all the components in now. We've got some funding from the Callaghan project to help us with it.
Yep.
And so we've got the student, as I say, he's going to do some data gathering from it and just check that all of its figures that you get given from the manufacturers are correct. And then, so the idea being that we can then, in response to the need to look for new applications for technical expertise, the aim is to target this hydrogen storage market. And so Hiranga is been on the news recently with the big truck filling stations going to be built with hydrogen, and there's a big hydrogen plant being built here for Balance.
Awesome.
But what we're looking at is those more smaller solutions and things that can be off grid, like your cell phone towers, water pumping stations that are out the back of Beyond that run off diesel generators, and we can set up a cabinet there that will run off wind and solar and generate its own hydrogen and then run off of hydrogen. So yeah, it's early stages, but we're excited to be part of that journey and getting on that.
Awesome. It's very forward thinking, very futuristic, which I like, in terms of how society, and how that sort of environmental factor is changing a bit. It's quite cool.
Exactly. But once again, we decided that, hydrogen is, as people know, it's an explosive gas, if it's not controlled. And so once again, all of our skills that we use now are all transferable to hydrogen also. So
yeah.
It's a way of future-proofing our company. Geothermal is going to be here, but in Taranaki region, it will be hydrogen. We believe it will be. And therefore, we can carry on taking on apprentices as we commit to taking on a school apprentice every year.
Yeah.
So we can continue doing that because if you knew that it was only going to be a finite life of your industry you're in, you wouldn't be able to take on new people knowing that they wouldn't have a job further down the line. But now they do. So yeah.
Great. That's awesome. It's really cool. Okay, I think nearing the end. Last question. 2020 has been, a year. Lots of people have learnt lots of things, and we'd love to know what's been one of your biggest learnings from 2020.
Expect the unexpected.
Nice. Everyone laughs at this
in
question,
a nutshell,
I think. Yeah, expect the unexpected. I like that.
Yeah, that's and just cool. Be adaptable to change, really, because that's really, that's one thing that won't change is change. So
yeah, it's the only constant.
That's right, exactly that. So yeah, so really expect the unexpected. We shared and celebrated the successes with our team as well. I think that's very important because we're a service industry, so without our team, we're nothing really.
Yeah.
So yeah, look after your team and just expect the unexpected.
Yeah, great learnings. That's very, very awesome. Well, it's been really nice chatting to you, Chris, and just wanted to congratulate you again for, taking out those incredible awards at the Taranaki Business Awards, and also for just creating, being involved and taking this business into its next steps, into its future, seeing expansion, and just building a great team culture and a great future for TIS. So good on you. And thanks for your time.
No, thanks for having me, Bryar. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again.